Yo, people, what up? Am I live? Guys, am I live? Let me see on my phone. Hmm. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Yeah, perfect. Yo, people. So, I'll just start myself with introducing again. I'm Advaya. I'm 23, pretty free. Uh, I just graduated last year. It's been like probably like 10 11 months I've been working. I'm working as a blockchain
Run.
MVP researcher. I like to build MVP bots and work on Solidity and build like cool stuff like various DApps. I was responsible to build one of the average pups in the industry. Uh, I like politics. I like to play sports. I travel a lot. I like to go get good food. And you know what? Like I realized like in India after you start making like or like after you got out of IIT and then you are living a good life, you got a successful career and you're doing good for yourself. No, I'm not saying like you're making millions and you got like Ferraris and all, and you will see all these people on internet doing like a lot of like be a multimillionaire. I don't know where it comes from, but you know what, someone who comes from a very average family and then doing good for himself or herself, and like as every IITian guy or like every 24-year-old in India or in the city of Mumbai does, right? I think he faces something else, and because of the peer pressure of the world and the people and the family around him, he just can't understand what kind of thing you want to do or like something else. So I'll tell you about myself, and I'm like quite open about it. I have like some kind of identity issues every single day, even if I have like everything to, I mean, even if you have like crazy money and all, I think every single day when you woke up or like I wake up, I feel like how, I mean, there is something in me which starts eating myself from inside, asking myself that I'm not putting enough efforts to be where I am, but to go where to I'm not putting efforts to go where I want to be, and the direction is like not around money or like not, the direction is not around any financial goal or any building a startup. That is something which is something like you want to be famous, and that's why today i'm gonna I'm gonna I was like going through understanding what is like being famous and what are the things, and like how does the people in LA live with like all the fame and what are the dark reality of it. I know like a lot of people who are like quite famous back in Switzerland, and how does that life work, and I'm just trying to understand this entire world, though I'm not part of it. I want to be one of course one day, why not. uh, and yeah, that's why I'm streaming this. I want to understand how it works. By the way, not a financial advice, of course. You don't buy this meme coin as shit, but I got this meme coin something or here. Oh no, yeah, this is called a Stema. I don't know why I accidentally saw this. I thought XRP club and shit. I hate XRP, by the way. I got something already somewhere around here. It's like good 200%. Anyways, so I wanted to see like thing. Oh, someone texted me. Okay. By the way, is anyone watching me, bro? YouTube. You got a single day, even if you have like everything to, I mean, even if you have like crazy money and all, I think every single day when you. Hello. बोला की ओ पाठवलं मी मी अजून त्यांना विचारलं नाही काय रिवर्ट, मी एकदा त्यांना विचारू काय आणि तुम्हाला सांगतो. हां म्हणजे मी फॉरवर्ड केले, मी जिथे जिथे पाठवतं ना दरवी, मी एकदा तिला. हो हो, बँगलोर बँगलोर सगळे बँगलोर, सगळेच बँगलोर म्हणजे हो. पण मी आता मी एकदा विचारतो, जरा टफ वीक होता. हां, तुम्ही कुठं आहात? घरीच आहे मी पण. होय, येतो रात्री. काय म्हणला? नाही नाही, कुठे नाही, जरा वर कामच. नाही नाही, बोला की. नाही नाही, काहीच नाही. जायचं काय कुठे? कुठे जायचं काय? चालते, अर्धा तासात येतो, 8ला येतो. ओके, निर्वाण पण आहे ना, त्याला पण मिळतं. बड्डेला ओके ओके. ओके, येतो. हो हो, मोठी गाडी येतो. ओके. Yo, sorry people. I need to figure out, man, how do I turn off my mic when I'm on calls. Fucking. Anyways, let's start with what is fame.
You've got the business idea. Now give it an address. GoDaddy had
Jesus. There probably was a bloke. Who is the most famous person who's ever lived?
Wait,
Tough question. Personally, I'm inclined to say Jesus because, I mean, most people on Earth have at least heard the name, but maybe Einstein or Shakespeare or Alexander the Great would be good picks. I mean, it kind of depends on what you mean by fame, really. Or Alexander the Great would be good name, but maybe Einstein or Shakespeare or Alexander the Great would be
I don't know, man. Why lately people have stopped, like, such people who are like good writers and all, they're just not famous lately.
good picks. I mean, it kind of depends on what you mean by fame, really. The dictionary says that being famous is being known about by a lot of people. But what kind of knowledge are we talking about there?
What do you guys think? Tell me in the comment section.
Philosophers distinguish different kinds of knowledge. There's knowledge that, knowing that something is true, like I know that the world is round. There's knowledge how, like I know how to ride a bike, that's something I can do. And there's knowledge of, I know my friends, we have knowledge of each other. Owen Wilson is a famous actor, he's known about by a lot of people, but I don't know him the way I know my friends, so can't be knowledge of. I don't know how to Owen Wilson, that doesn't make sense, so can't be knowledge how. So it must be knowledge that's important to fame. But there's a problem with fame being grounded in knowledge that. Consider somebody like Jesus. There probably was a bloke who lived roughly 2,000 years ago who was probably called something roughly like Jesus, who maybe even said some of the things that are attributed to him. But how much of the rest of the stories about Jesus are true? Well, isn't that a million-dollar question? Knowledge that requires truth. You can't know things that are false. But some people are very famous, and yet we don't really know how much we know about them because they are figures of legend. A lot of the philosophers who've discussed fame have quite an elitist attitude about it, or at least an elitist attitude towards the people who make other people famous, the masses.
What have you learned from fame?
But I'm not really a fan of fame. I don't think it's...
You don't enjoy it?
No, I don't think it's useful at all. I think it's in fact quite a hindrance, and it's quite annoying. Unfortunately, in India, sometimes you have to be someone special in order to get things done normally. Like if you just want to get things done normally, it helps if you're somebody, which is a little sad.
But also, let me tell you that you've inspired a lot of guys who are like around my age
Yeah.
to just be classy, be charming, be resilient.
Wow.
So
Thanks,
that's an outcome of your fame.
Well, okay. I mean, if you do something and you spread the word, then that's nice. I mean, for me personally, I'd rather, go to Goa and walk around without being
But he can still walk around, right? No one is stopping him.
necessarily recognized. I love being an actor.
Do you miss that?
Well, there's places I can go where it's fine. You just, your hangouts change.
Yeah.
But I think money can give you a lot of things that you think
Fame takes
fame
away.
can. No, I mean, you know, there's some, let's say you're Mr. Ambani or something. I mean, you don't need to be famous. I mean, you have the world at your feet. So money can also do that. Fame is in fact a hindrance to getting things done.
Does
you
it
know.
take away from your peace?
I'm sure a little bit,
I
but
think a lot of celebrities can get things done better without being rich than a lot of rich people. I know like a lot of people in Mumbai who are like famous but not rich, and they get like entries at like places where not a lot of rich people get. So I know a guy who is like more than his family is like more than 200 crores of a market cap. We still has to put efforts to get at some place, whereas some celeb who's not even who's done something about $1 million would be in there. I think this is pretty incorrect in today's world. This is like clip from 4 years back. I'm not saying that I disagree with Saif Ali Khan, but it's just that I feel things are changing.
I think what most people are really after are the love and the happiness and the success that they think is associated with fame. What's going on, guys? Before we jump in, I want to thank Spirit Kai in our Discord for the awesome video submission this week. So every week I'm going to be dropping my favorite submission from the Discord at the top of the description below. So if that's something you're interested in, hop in the Discord and definitely check out this band, because this is a killer track. You guys own over the big. You cannot, if you don't get that validation, opinion, what other people think of you, and that's really unhealthy, because you can on what other people think. You're always basing your self-worth on what other people think of you. And that's really unhealthy, because you cannot control other people's opinions of you. So it is literally your job to be liked. And if you don't get that validation, or you aren't good at your job, that's when depression really starts to creep in. And if you let your fame dwindle, someone else will take your place and people will forget about you, and that can be really challenging to cope with. And in doing
I don't want to know about hard times of being famous.
Knock knock. Abba. Knock knock.
What? I'm too hungry to open the door.
That's magnified when you have children, because
Yeah.
they have no say.
Well, that's the other
there's a lot of people who
invulnerability
put their
I have.
kids, They put their kids out there, and
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay, I'm not saying it's the worst thing to do, but it's not the child's choice, and they're very young, and you're making look, like whoever did what they did to Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that they did is they made him famous way before he had any idea what the fuck that meant, and
Yeah.
they profited off.
Wow.
Look, like whoever did what they did to Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that they did is they made him famous way before he had any idea what the fuck that meant, and
Yeah.
they profited off of it.
Yeah.
They kind of pimped him out, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's happening.
They destroyed him.
Yeah, but ultimately the whole thing destroyed him, right? And I don't want to be a part of that. There's no
No, I
benefit
think that's
in it.
smart.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
intelligent. And I also don't, this is my real honest feelings. I do not think that fame is, I don't think that people should aspire to it. I think it should be something that happens if people like your work, and then it's cool, it's fine. But I think there's way too much emphasis put on just trying to get attention. And it's being rewarded and supported in this weird way. There's nothing wrong with getting attention, but it should make sense. It should make sense. There should be some reason. And if it's out of balance,
Yeah.
you should probably look at like why is it out of balance? Like,
Yeah. And lots of things that attract attention are not things that we want more of. Like conflict.
yes, conflict. That's a big one. But it's also just fame itself. One of the weirdest parts about it is that you have to constantly be checking yourself. Like, all these people are nice to you. All these people are saying nice things to you or being mean to you. One of the
Right.
all people that you don't even know. So you can't rely on them for your self-esteem, and you
Right.
certainly can't rely on them for criticism. You can't rely on them. People you don't even know that don't care about you. So you're in this weird position. You have to be very careful with who you communicate with. Because one of the weirdest things you'll see from famous people is all of a sudden they get this very strange thing where they feel like people are supposed to do things for them, and they're not supposed to pay for things, and everything's supposed to be easy, and they're supposed to get that. That's a weird one. Like they don't respond to criticism well. They don't understand that they're still a human being in the middle of growth. No, they're a fucking star. I'm a fucking star, and I want this, and I want it now.
Yeah.
And they're just like, what kind of fucking bullshit is this?
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, exactly. We've all seen like a version of that, right? And we know about it.
The problem, though, is that
Because this is fucking true.
they know that their shit stinks.
Yes.
They know that they're human. They
Right.
know. So then they develop this sort of fraud phobia.
Right.
That people are going to find out what they really are. I mean,
Wow.
no. So then they develop this sort of fraud phobia.
Right.
That people are going to find
This is very depth, like well said, well fucking said.
out what they really are. I mean, I've seen this with fashion models. You know, I used to hang out with a lot of fashion models in Barcelona. You know that whole story where I lived in the mansion with the fashion models?
Did you talk about that?
Could be. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I'd love
Who
to
can
hear it
keep track
again.
of what the fuck we've talked
I
about?
know, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah. Anyway, so fashion
it. They
models,
become
fame,
famous.
wealth.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, Barcelona is one of the most beautiful and like livable cities. Everyone should visit Barcelona once in their life. It's like so filled with like super hot
People who are-
girls, rich people, nice yachts. It's just a vibe city. Like it's so beautiful. Like it's just vibe.
Extremely
Sure.
wealthy, and that gets back to the 70 grand a year thing and the whole sort of question of saturation.
You know what else it is? It becomes a real problem with things being too easy and life being like way too patterned. Like you everything is very predictable in terms of like your success. You have plenty of money. You have adulation from fans without any stress or duress. Like you can have a little bit of stress in terms of like trying to manage your career, but it's nothing like trying to make it.
Yeah.
That I don't know if I'm ever going to make it stress. That's a totally different kind of stress. I don't know if I'm ever going to be a success stress. That's real shit. That goes away once you
Yeah.
definitely become Kanye West or whoever the fuck you are.
Right.
And then you're subject to your own demons. Because
Right.
then you're alone. You're
Yeah.
really alone. You can't even go to the grocery store.
You spend any time with Jim Carrey?
No, I don't know him.
I'd love to meet that guy.
Yeah,
'Cause
he seems like he's in a weird stage of his life.
he seems to me like someone who you talked about. You get to that pinnacle and you have to deal with your demons.
Yeah.
It seems like
As I really want to see this video, but I'm scared. That is again very well said. It's all about the feeling, not the fame. Fucker. This is the man, guys. Like I know, like a lot of things went really, really bad with Michael Jackson, but he lived his life. I mean, what a story, man. When he used to come, right? It was just insane amount of people going crazy for him. Like it was just Michael Jackson everywhere. You wanna see his videos in Bombay? That would be crazy. By the way, you remember Raj Thakre, Mr. Raj Thakre, sir, went to pick him up at the airport. He was in his prime back then. This is like right number 1983. Prime Bombay. You know why I always feel like why people loved Michael Jackson, because he was always like this white background and dark shadow and like this cap in it which literally hides kind of his face in that shadow, and that's why it created a lot of mysterious sense in the people, and that's why people like so curious about him, about the mystery, and that's why he became so famous. So this is like one of the big facets why Michael Jackson was Michael Jackson. I also feel like Michael Jackson gave you.
Are you okay, honey? Would you want?
And by the way, if you remember, Michael Jackson earned like good amount of money, which he gave all to the charity in Bombay.
Just wait one out.
I wanna see a picture where. That's insane.
What'd you say?
I love you.
Love you.
Oh look, she's got something for you.
Some time.
There are hundreds of local employees here. The local labor, I mean, we couldn't have done this. Everything that you will eventually see around you.
Brother, it don't matter.
के पास्ट कॉन्सर्ट्स के कुछ अनमोल पल.
Man, he shouldn't have died. Anyways, let's get back to.
What'd you say? Just wait.
I don't want to know dealing with how it's. I just don't want to. Sometimes I feel like YouTube doesn't understand what kind of questions I'm asking. Yeah, I don't want to get Illuminati at all on my channel.
We have 62,000 people watching it.
Wait, nah! How do you have this many followers?
I made an app that makes it look like you're famous on a live stream with tens of thousands of people watching to see how people might treat you differently when they think you're famous.
Wow, I need this app.
Word got out that I was famous, and the next thing I knew, everyone wanted to be my friend. I then went to a club where the managers.
That's what I'm trying to say. If you're famous, everyone wants to be your friend, and that is very important. I
Saw how many views.
So wrong, but that is quite important. Look, this is. I'm gonna stop it over here.